Hola, mis señoritas y señoritas. Welcome back to another episode of our Spanish language tutorial. ¿Están todos listos? Okay, vámonos! Everybody, let's go! For this video, I will be explaining on how to use negatives in a sentence using the Spanish language. Just like the English language, for us to imply the negativity of a statement, we have to use different negative words just like the no, not one, no one, nothing, or never. But in Spanish language, you have to remember that in making a sentence negative, the word no should be placed directly before the verb. For the first example of a sentence, she sings well. In Spanish, this will be ella canta bien. And to make this negative, this will be she does not sing well. In Spanish, this will be ella no canta bien. No is placed right before canta, which is our verb that is conjugated in third person singular. Before we proceed, you should be informed that in Spanish language, it is acceptable to use double negatives. And for that to be more effective, we should use different negative words. The first one is the use of nada or nothing in a sentence. To formulate a negative sentence using nada, the formula is no plus the verb, then followed by nada. For the first example, I have nothing to eat for today. In Spanish, this will be yo no tengo nada para comer hoy. No is placed before our verb, which is tengo, and then followed by nada. The second example is he does not understand anything. In Spanish, it is él no entiende nada. No is placed before our verb, which is entiende, and then followed by our negative word, which is nada. Another one is the use of nadi or no one in a sentence. Just like the first one, we can still use the formula no plus verb and then followed by nadi. Or we can actually place nadi right before the verb. For example, no one speaks Italian in the class. In Spanish, it can be nadie habla italiano en la clase. Nadie is placed right before habla, which is our verb. Another example is no one gets up early. In Spanish, it will be no se levanta nadie temprano. No is placed before our verb and then followed by the negative word nadie. The third one is the use of nunca or jamás, which means never in a sentence. Just like the other two, we can still use the formula, which is no plus verb plus nunca or jamás. For example, they never shout. In Spanish, this can be ellos no gritan nunca. No is placed right before our verb, which is gritan, and then followed by nunca. Other example is I never dance. In Spanish, it is yo no bailo jamás. No is placed before our verb, which is bailo, and then followed by our negative word, which is jamás. The last one is using ninguno, which means no or not one. It also follows the same formula, which is no plus verb and then followed by ninguno. Or it can actually place right before the noun it modifies. And since ninguno is an adjective negative expression, it should agree with the number or gender of the noun it modifies. For example, it is placed right before a masculine singular noun, it became ningun. For example, we have no idea about that. In Spanish, it will be no tenemos ninguna idea de eso. No is placed before the verb, which is tenemos, and then followed by ninguna. It became ninguna since the noun it modifies is feminine, which is idea. The second example is not one boy will travel with you anywhere. In Spanish, it will be ningún chico viajará contigo. The ningún is placed right before the masculine singular noun, which is chico. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for staying with me and learning about how to use negatives in a sentence. I hope to see you next week again for another episode of our Spanish language tutorial. Gracias, adios!